The left has been screaming about corporations not paying their fair share in tax for years. And now, as the United States is bringing in record high numbers of revenue due to the new tariff program, the left is saying the countries these tariffs are being imposed on aren't the ones paying the tariffs. The United States corporations are the one paying the tariffs, and they're pushing the costs down to the consumers, which is us. So your claim is that the United States corporations are paying higher taxes, which is what you've been screaming for years.
No, you just said it. Just 2 seconds before. We pay the taxes. Corporations aren't paying their fair share in taxes. We're paying their taxes. The prices are passed down to us. You just said, you were right there, man. Your entire argument is if we forced corporations to pay their fair share in taxes, they would raise prices on their goods. But that's not true because of free market capitalism, baby. If they can't figure out a way to compete while paying their fair share in taxes, they go under. That's how this works. They have no incentive to lower their prices because everyone raises their prices under these tariffs. Get it?
It is dumbfounding watching these folks' brains work in real time.
Taxing the rich is the stupidest thing I've ever heard, but let me explain this to you idiot broke people out there, okay? Rich people own everything you buy. Your cars, your TV memberships, your phone, they own everything, okay? So if you tax the rich will just raise prices. And then you're still going to buy the product because you still want a TV. You still got to eat food. You still need a drive. So guess who's really going to be paying? You. But all of these campaign people run on the fact that they're going to tax the rich. And you guys are like, yay! And then the rich just raise prices and you guys are really the ones paying it. But the people who really win is the people who raise the taxes because they're the ones making the money. Like they figured out how to get more money out of you and get you to vote for it. Like, dude. I would say use your brain, but there's no way that you guys have one with some of the shit you vote for, because, you know.
This man wants to be Jeff Bezos' boy so bad, he puts out TikToks like this.
You say tax the rich, but what does that look like? All right, so tax wealth not work. It's not about taxing high-earning individuals. We're not talking about taxing doctors or lawyers. It's about people with enormous amounts of hoarded wealth. So individuals and families with wealth of 10 million, 50 million, 100 million, £1 billion. These guys make like 5-6% a year on their wealth anyway. You know, I would like to see them taxed 2% a year, 3% a year. To be totally honest, that's not enough, because even if you tax them 2-3% a year, their wealth is still going to keep growing. You need to understand, like, we do not live in a rapidly growing economy. So if the wealth holdings of these guys are growing and growing and growing and growing, it's coming from somebody, it's coming from somewhere. And it's not a coincidence that at this time of massive growth in the wealth of the very rich, you're seeing government being effectively bankrupted, middle class not being able to afford homes. Like, these are the same thing. These are the same thing. I'm not even trying to redistribute. I'm trying to stop the redistribution that is happening from the working class, from the middle class, from the government to the very rich. You need to tax these very wealthy wealth hoarders really at quite a high amount to stop them from growing and growing and growing their wealth, squeezing out the middle class, squeezing out government. That's what I want to do.
Shout out to Gary Stevenson, by the way, goated.
We need to tax the rich because right now the wealthiest Americans are getting away with paying far less than their fair share. While everyday people hustle to file and pay, the top 400 billionaires pay an average tax rate of just 8.2%. That's lower than what most teachers and nurses pay, who pay around 13%. The 25 richest Americans have paid as little as 3.4% on hundreds of billions in income. Meanwhile, billionaire wealth grew by 1.4 trillion last year, 3.9 billion every single day. If the ultra rich paid their fair share, a modest wealth tax could raise $664 billion a year. That's enough to lift children out of poverty, build infrastructure, and protect our climate. But under Trump's IRS, enforcement is being gutted. Billionaires can dodge taxes with little fear of audits, while everyday Americans face the full weight of the system. Every $1 spent auditing the top 0.1% brings in over $6 in revenue. But those audits are vanishing. The result? Less money for schools, healthcare, and roads, while the rich get richer. It's time to make the rich pay what they owe so the system works for all of us, not just billionaires.
Like, how hard is this to understand for guys like Sam, who we saw near the beginning of this piece?
Elon Musk's net worth just surpassed $400 billion, which is a historical high for the world's wealthiest man. To put that number into perspective, if you made $100 million a year, it would take you 4,000 years to make $400 billion. If you made $10 million a year, it would take you 40,000 years to make $400 billion. And if you made $1 million a year, it would take you 400,000 years to make $400 billion. The median household income in the US is about $80,000. If you're making $80,000 a year, it would take you 5 million years to make $400 billion. How did Elon Musk get this rich? Well, by privatizing his gains and socializing his losses. From all of the government handouts he's received in the form of contracts, loans, subsidies, tax breaks, all sponsored by our taxpayer dollars. From the tax loopholes that have allowed him to pay $0 in federal income taxes both personally and for his company some years, which the burden of those taxes then falls on us to pay. And of course from the labor force that he employs at his companies. So, as a taxpayer, you're welcome, Elon, for helping you to get this wealthy.
Yo, tax the rich, bro. Shut up, bro. Elon Musk gave us self-driving cars, and Bezos gave us same-day delivery. What do? You work at a fast food restaurant. You burn fries and forget people's sauces. You think you deserve free healthcare? Clean water? Fair wages? You're lucky they're not charging us to breathe the same air as them.
Hey everyone, if you like my shit and you fuck with me, then follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. I would appreciate it. What really drives me absolutely insane is the fact that there are so many people that are signing up to live in this society and they just want to have their rights taken away. And they just want their wages to be funneled to the top 1% and not even get a thank you with it. It is incredible to me how people will keep going back to the well without thinking about their own internal revolution that they absolutely have to process in order to get through this life. And thus, the system that we are currently in, instead of thinking of different ways to not necessarily reform it, but start anew, they are stuck in their old ways of thinking, this is it, this is how it has to be. Do you know, for so many, like my parents' parents, all they had to do was have one job, and they could have made it through college, on a college tuition. They could have had a car, maybe two. They could have had a home, maybe even a second home. They could have paid for insurance. They could have paid for daycare. They could have paid for groceries. I mean, if you go watch Home Alone, all right, when Macaulay Culkin is checking out, he gets like 6 or 8 things, and it's like $20. My wife and I turned to each other like, how is that possible? It's because the rich keep getting richer. And as George Carlin said, it's a big club and you ain't in it. That's why I do believe that there could potentially, though I say this very pessimistically, light at the end of the tunnel for socialist practices to be put forth. Because what we are seeing now is a level of inequality that has never really been seen before. And they are stealing the funds that we pay in taxes in order for Jeff Bezos to have another boat or to shut down an entire city in Italy for his wedding. I mean, like, how does this not process with so many people that what we are seeing right now is the hoarding of wealth and the stealing of wages for them just so you could suffer more? Why don't you want change? Why are you happy with where you are right now? I mean, someone could be making $100,000, $200,000 and being like, yep, this is it. Someone could be making 75 and saying, yep, this is it. This is my life. Don't you want more? But don't you also want the oligarchs to financially cease to exist by having billions? They could have $999 million. Why do they need trillions? I mean, peel the layers, man.